Welcome to True Crime Rewind Podcast, Episode 11, Delphi Murders, Brett Gibson and his role. Today, we're diving deep into the swirling debates and controversies surrounding Richard Allen's legal representation. Facebook groups like Delphi Drama and Gossip, spearheaded by individuals like Kay Smith, are spreading misinformation by only telling part of the story. But today, we will cut through the noise and get to the heart of the matter. There's been much confusion about whether Richard Allen had an attorney during the time of the safekeeping order and how it could impact his appeal. One way to combat this misinformation is by providing the full story. Everyone talks about what Richard Allen wants, what he did, and how he feels. But only one person, Anthony Greeno, has reached out and spoken to him.
Starting this case, I wasn't intending to be a true crime person at all. I became this just because I have access to be here and be able to film and show people around. It's been a long time that we've been looking into this. It's just been almost 8 years, and it's just consumed me. It's taken on a different role of my life. It's become my life. I have a criminal past. I've done some shady things. I just had different aspects of my life that gave me the skills that I needed to be able to investigate. I've been in jail. I've been in the prison that Richard Allen was at. There's a lot of things about this case that I know both sides of that many people don't know. Because I know how it is to be treated in prison, in jail, what it's like, what you go through, how you feel while you're there. Since the first year press conference, we had it actually right up here, is where we had that press conference. They said to me and my best friend, Michael Catt, that they thought this killer had never committed a crime before.
It's just one of those situations when we got a case that this person's never apparently committed a crime before.
He had never committed a crime. He has no DNA in the database.
But I'm just saying, that's what it looks like. I mean, the possibility he's done something that we...
And so everyone's looking at sex offenders, or people that have been arrested, and I was looking in the opposite direction. Just somebody that was local, that worked local, that we all know that we just can't figure out because they don't seem like they would commit the crime. When Richard Allen came up to the radar, he fits the entire profile that I put together. Carroll County is corrupt. They are shady at times. But I just don't think that they're wrong about this.
To end the controversy, brought on by Kay Smith in the Delphi Drama and Gossip group on Facebook, Anthony Greeno sits down with Lafayette, Indiana defense attorney, and Tippecanoe County public defender, Brett Gibson. We're going to finally get some answers and debunk Kay's theories. Now please welcome the host of the True Crime Rewind podcast, Anthony Greeno.
What's going on, everyone? I'm Anthony Greeno, and today I have a special guest with me to discuss the Delphi murders. Mr. Gibson, thank you for joining us today. Let's dive right in. There's been a lot of speculation about whether you were able to reach Richard Allen during your brief retainer. Media sources have put out varying accounts. Can you clarify what actually happened?
The issue with mainstream media and social media, for that matter, is that it's a lot like the telephone game. One person hears something, and then, before you know it, the story changes during the spreading. What had actually happened is, well, let me start off by saying, no, the article isn't correct in the context they put out.
In October 2022, Brett Gibson, the attorney who many folks believing in Kay's speculation, by reading news articles and claiming them as definitive proof. They say faced challenges in locating his client, Richard Allen, who was not at the facility where Gibson initially searched. Also, they say he was unable to locate his client. However, Gibson explained, Richard Allen and his wife Kathy informed him that the financial strain on the couple was too great to bear. Therefore, Gibson was informed by Rick Allen that he would no longer need Gibson's services. That was a decision made by the Allen family on October 31st, 2022. That shows Allen did not have any counsel of record because of a letter postmarked November 1st, the next day, where Allen requested a public defender, and that motion was granted.
When I first contacted the jail and asked for availability to speak to Rick, the staff at the jail informed me there was no one there with that name. That pseudonym was only for a brief period of time while he was at the Carroll County Jail. However, after receiving a call from the sheriff shortly thereafter, I found Rick was located in an adjoining county facility due to overcrowding. We did talk, but there was...
White County?
Yes, White County, which is where I met with him the day the press conference was held concerning his arrest.
Despite the challenges, Gibson did meet with Richard Allen. In that meeting, Allen relieved Gibson of his duties. Gibson advised Allen to write a letter to the court, which he did. However, the legal and financial complexities became apparent soon after.
My office has received death threats from Richard Allen supporters who are scrutinizing our firm for not intervening in the case and speaking out on behalf of Allen. But here's the reality. You can't do what you were never legally assigned to do. There's a reason we go to school for this. Definition and law go hand in hand in the state of Indiana. Each law is defined by statute of definitions, and certain criteria must be met to make serving as private or public counsel required. The original retainer was simply a non-refundable fee to begin the process. Legally speaking, I was never Richard Allen's attorney. Realistically, I was only retained for 5 days. During that time, I was made aware that Mr. Allen would be transferred to another secure facility for his safety.
The safekeeping order for Richard Allen was within the court's authority, and the events that unfolded reflect the complex nature of legal proceedings. Many say Allen's rights were violated for conducting this hearing without an attorney of record present, but Mr. Gibson never formally filed an appearance with the court, meaning in legal terms, Richard Allen did not have an attorney.
What would you have done if you had attended the safekeeping order hearing? I guess the question is, what difference would it have made if, and I use that term because there's always a what if in everything, would it have changed anything?
No, it would not, and I'm glad you said if. If I had appeared with things about the circumstances unchanged, I couldn't have done anything more than you could have, because I wasn't his attorney at that point. Per our verbal agreement regarding termination of services, I did reach out to the state and advise Mr. McClelland of my inability to represent Mr. Allen. I sent that to them the following office day for me since I had court on the 1st. I didn't get around to it. But if the role was reversed and I had initiated my formal appearance, based on my experience and the graphic nature of this case, what I would have done was agree with the sheriffs, and most likely by agreement of the parties. He would have been transferred, mainly because of statements Rick made about depression and self-harm, as well as threats from the public. I would have felt it was in his best interest for safekeeping. Most inmates I've dealt with want to go to prison. They have more freedom, higher quantity commissary, and are designed for more long-term housing. County jails an inmate is often locked down, limited recreation time, and restricted movement. Most likely, Anthony though I would have agreed to the order issued just to make sure my client was safe during his pre-trial detainment. I don't want to go into the third-party stuff, that seems like it's all speculative anyways, but I do appreciate you asking and really just taking the time to vet the information or misinformation is out there.
Thank you for doing this for me, Mr. Gibson. This should clear the air. And if not, they're literally crazy.
And there you have it, a detailed account from Brett Gibson himself. Now maybe Kay and her cronies can let this subject rest and quit wearing out the screenshot buttons on her phone. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, the news is not a factual source. It's only a case where you go directly to the source like Greeno does, to uncover the truth and get the answers. The truthful answers that you deserve. The legal intricacies and the personal challenges faced by all parties involved paint a vivid picture of the unfolding events. Stay tuned for more insights and analyses in our next episode, number 12 of True Crime Rewind Podcast.
Blood on the pavement, echoes of pain, whispers of murder, drive us insane.